Hi everyone, and welcome back to O Tanta Passione. Good day, Melbourne. This is day 11 from the Australian Open, where the women's semi-finals were played, and as well the first men's semi-final between Novak Djokovic against Karatsev, the Russian player who was living in a fairy tale. With me today, Steffi Graf couldn't make, still very, very busy, as well Martina Navratilova and Monica Seles, but Maggie is as well with me. So how are you, Maggie? Hi.
Good day, Ale. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
That's great. I'm very good. It was, I wearing this t-shirt Into the Wild because I believe that we were in the very wild time of the tournament when only the strongest can progress in this competition can eventually try to win the trophy. So I don't know, Maggie, if you watch any tennis today. Did you have like any opportunity to enjoy some shots or some matches today?
I didn't watch any matches today, but I did see some results.
Okay. So
yes.
you really count on me every time, basically,
I do.
to try to update you on what's happening on the other side of the world, down under. Of course, you are at the right time and the right place, Maggie. Don't worry. So I believe we're gonna start in a chronological order. The first semi-final that was played on the Rod Laver Arena was the one that saw your favorite player, Naomi Osaka, versus the 23-time Grand Slam winner, Serena Williams. I believe, Maggie, you already know the final score, so it's not going to be a surprise
for you.
Indeed.
No, it's not a surprise.
Let me see, just out of curiosity, I'm not going to ask you the exact score, but do you know if it was the match won in 2 or 3 sets?
It was won in two straight sets.
Maggie, you are great. You're fantastic. And so we can basically show the final score. So Osaka won with the score of 6-3, 6-love. Yesterday,
6-4.
6-3, 6-4. Yesterday, this is the great thing of going in this format live. As you remember, I predicted, I believe for sure it's going to be a 3-set match, but I was wrong. I underestimate all the power and the determination and the strong mind of Naomi Osaka. The match was quite strange. It started when it was at 3 a.m. UK time and 2 p.m. local time in Melbourne. Again, it was another hot and very humid day. So Serena got an early break and she was leading for 2 games to love. But at that point, Osaka started firing, hitting very strong from the baseline, and she was making Serena move a lot. I have to say, probably today, Serena gave me the impression that if in the previous part of the tournament she looked much more relaxed, more smiley. Today she was very, very nervous. She was feeling a lot the pressure, and kind of all of a sudden, basically the first set was over with the score of 6-3 because Osaka managed, to break Serena twice. In the second set as well, we had the impression, I believe, looking at the highlights, that Osaka was going up 4-2. Serena had a kind of a was showing some pride. She didn't want probably to give up, to give such an easy win to the Japanese player, and she leveled on 4-all. But at that point, after Osaka probably being the youngest player, fresher on court, she completely used all her power, and it was quite probably give an image of this match. The last game, the Osaka won to love, and just on the match point, the last shot hit by Serena Williams went into the net. So I believe the match was interesting, but probably less than we expected. I believe whatever happened after the end of the match, when Serena was leaving the court, and also during the press conference, I think that was very significant. I don't know, Maggie, if you had any opportunity to read about Serena's comments and the questions that were asked during her press conference.
Well, I heard that some journalists were asking her whether this could be her farewell match. She was quite emotional as well, but I didn't hear anything else.
Yes, because apparently when Serena was leaving the court, she was kind of touching her chest. She, when usually you kind of, thank you so much, or you are in my heart, something like that. It was quite an emotional moment. Everyone had the impression that she was kind of almost saying goodbye, to the Rod Laver Arena, to the crowd, because as well, let's remember that today the crowd came back. There were 7,500 spectators on the Rod Laver Arena. And when one of the journalists was asking her, basically, was one of those bad days at the office, like you mentioned, can you please explain what did you mean in the way you left the court? And after Serena was quite enigmatic, she said, I feel it was not a farewell, and even if it was, basically, I wouldn't tell anyone. And after when she got the second question, she sounded very emotional. I saw basically the scene. She started drinking a little bit of water, and after she left the press conference in tears. Nobody knows in terms of pressure. So I would like to ask you: do you think was Serena kind of overwhelmed? Probably she realized that now there are so many powerful and younger players on tour, in particular with Naomi, that I don't know what's your opinion, Maggie, but seems that she's going to carry on the legacy from Serena. I'm not saying that she's going to win the same number of Grand Slams. I wish her, but to win 23 Grand Slams is a massive number. But in terms of power and determination and aggressive game, she really reminds me Serena. So what are your thoughts, Maggie?
Yeah, I agree. I know the last few days I've been saying that Serena seems to just be powering through and on course for the final. It's not to be. I don't really know what to say. Yes, there are lots of powerful players coming up that will undoubtedly start winning Grand Slams, and she's not she's not going to be around forever. I think she has to realize, I think there's an awful lot of pressure on her, not necessarily to win that 24th Grand Slam, but just to get to the final of another Grand Slam. So I think she feels that's probably why she was quite emotional after the press conference. So, I think players like Osaka, Barty, of the like will, they will maybe start becoming a little bit more dominant now.
Yeah, because let's remember, Serena won this tournament 7 times, so for sure, a very important number. Nobody knows, even when I was watching at the end of the match, the review from Barbara Schetz and Mats Wilander on Eurosport, when they asked Mats, in which area do you think can Serena improve? And he said, for sure, her serve is fantastic. Her return is great. Probably she needs to improve on her movement on court. We all know she went through, difficult time personally, even when she had to stop because she gave birth during the maternity leave. Right now, this is why I still have the feeling that, like with Roger Federer and probably even Rafael Nadal, I don't see so many specialists on grass. So, like I believe Serena probably has more chances to win another Grand Slam on grass in Wimbledon. Same for Roger. And the same for Rafa on clay, even if it's a very demanding, very stressful game. On hard court, I believe now there are too many specialists that
maybe
when they make you run or the rally is getting longer and longer, either you know what is going to be the outcome, otherwise you get impatient. You try basically to close the rally early. And after you try a winner, even when you are off balance, and at that point you play the game of the opponent. So probably in that way, I can understand her frustration. To be honest, Osaka spent very nice words towards Serena. She said, "I totally admire her. If it was up to me, I would like Serena to play forever." I would like Serena never stop because she's such an inspiration for everyone. I think I'm so grateful because probably if today I'm playing tennis and I am determined and I have this hunger for a final win, it's because the example that I received from someone like Serena. And also even Naomi seems very determined on her goals and targets, because she said she was very pleased with her game today. She fought, from the beginning on every single point. She was very pleased with the fact that she kept a positive and solid attitude. And now she said, so far I won 3 Grand Slam. My target is now to reach 5. And once I reach 5 Grand Slam, I would think, to reach 10 and after even more. So as you can see, even being, I believe Naomi's only, I would say 23. She really knows.
She's got lots of time.
She really knows what she wants.
Yes.
And from this point of view, she seems the one at the moment that she reminds a little bit of a younger Serena. I don't know, Maggie, what do you think? If you agree with me or not?
I agree. One thing I wanted to say about the match, I think I predicted that Osaka would win in 3. I'm really surprised that she won in 2. I didn't really think that would be possible given the fact that she was playing Serena Williams. But yes, she seems to be very determined. She seems to have found her right rhythm. She's got, is it 3 Grand Slams now?
So far she has 3 Grand Slams under her belt, 2 US Open and 1 Australian Open.
So she seems to be on an upward path. She knows what she wants, as you say, and I think she's now really determined to just get on with it.
Yeah, for sure. And also, I have to say, Serena was very... she seemed very focused, very lucid, even analyzing the match. She said the difference today were because of my unforced errors, but I believe, like we were mentioning earlier, at one point, if you just realize that the rally is getting too long and you can't compete with a player that is 16 years younger than you, but you start just hitting the ball and you're not focused and you can't think enough. probably fun enough for Serena, is a little bit strange because she was the one who was dominating the rallies. She was dictating, and now she sees basically another player kind of more or less taking over her. And as well, just, adding more comments from Naomi. Naomi said, I was just a child when I was watching Serena playing. For me today, to see her on the other side of the net was like a dream come true.
Yeah.
And at the same time, yes, once again, I would like Serena to play forever. There is a total respect. It's very genuine. It's very nice to see this kind of respect between two players of that level. So, like I said the other days, I like both of them. They are a very good message on court and off court. So I hope to see eventually another clash between these two players. Who knows? Eventually, in the next Wimbledon.
Hope so.
Yeah. At the same time, just kind of a little news information. Sophia Kenin, the defending champion, who won last year, basically the Australian Open, who lost in the second round this year, and she left as well Melbourne in tears. She was very emotional. She went through appendix surgery. She confirmed that basically the surgery went well, but she needs now to rest and recover. So we wish Sophia all the best, a speedy recovery. We need you on tour. More talented players we have around, the better it is for the show, for us as spectators, for enjoying this great level of tennis. I don't know if Maggie, you want to wish as well Sophia a fast recovery as well, or
Yes, fast recovery, Sophia, and hopefully see you soon.
Fantastic. So now let's switch to the other semi-final that it was played immediately after this one on the Rod Laver Arena. Again, Maggie, I'm going to ask you a tricky question. I know you didn't watch the match, but do you know if this match ended in 2 straight sets or 3 sets?
Oh, I think it was 2.
Maggie, this is your final answer. Are you sure?
Maybe 3 then.
Yes, there is always a second opportunity in life. Yes, you are absolutely right, because as you can see from the score that is showing on the monitor, it was a 3 set semi-final. For sure, probably there was a much more challenge and more drama in this semi-final than in the previous one. Muchova entered her first Grand Slam semi-final ever in her career, and yesterday I made a mistake. I said that as well for Brady, but actually was her second semi-final in a Grand Slam. She played and she lost last year at the US Open against Naomi Osaka. So now it's going to be kind of a revenge in the final. I don't know if you were aware, but she won on her 5th match point.
Oh my goodness.
At one point, I think you read, you were just telling me earlier offline. What did you read about Brady's when she was serving? What happened with her legs? Something quite curious.
No, when she finished, I think on the on-court interview, she said that her legs were shaking.
And I can imagine, on a 5th match point, she said as well, she lost a little bit of focus, because they said, to get used to playing with the crowd when we started the tournament, and after for 2 rounds, or I think 2 or 3, not having the crowd, she said sometimes, the crowd is really there. You can feel all of their involvement, in particular when it's about a match point. And so she said, I lost my focus, even if I am someone who likes involving the crowd. And at one point, I was really feeling the pressure. So I'm very pleased. I'm very glad with myself. I managed, on the 5th match point to convert it. For her, it's going to be her first Grand Slam final. Of course, she said it was not easy at all. I've been dreaming about these moments since I was 13, 14 years old. I'm really looking forward, taking my opportunities in the final, even if I know that on the other side of the net, there is an incredible player, very powerful. I lost against Naomi last year at the US Open semi-final, but who knows? As well, she was very, very honest. She said, I know that I'm going to be extremely nervous and emotional 100% in the final, but who is not? We are nervous from home or in the crowd watching these incredible encounters. Imagine for the players who have to they are the main characters during this competition. So I don't know. Do you have any chance, Maggie, to see a little bit of the highlights of this match, or did you just learn about the final score?
No, I didn't see any highlights at all. I just read about the final score.
Yeah, for sure, because at one point she said I was expecting Muchova, to make an unforced error to give me the final win. Fortunately, I was lucky, and I think in the last point it was Muchova who hit basically the last shot into the net, like Serena. But for sure, I think this tactic, this game plan is not going to work against Naomi Osaka.
No.
It might be in a couple of games, but for sure she needs to be focused at least on her serving games. She said, she was quite honest. She said, I am a very emotional player. I know I'm going to be 100% nervous. There is no way to stop, to avoid that. It's... I'm gonna try to embrace, to live the moment, and to see what happens. As well, she reminded, she remembered about the semi-final. She said, in that occasion at the US Open, we played a great match without the crowd. This time is going to be even more exciting in front of 7,500 people. Of course, she said, I know that if Naomi wants, she might be very powerful, very strong on her serve. She can win and keep her serving games very quickly. So I need, to focus on my best shots. I've been told that I have a good serve, I get a good forehand. Probably it's typical of the American school. These are the two main shots that they are always teaching, as you know. Yes. One of your favorite players, Andy Roddick, was one of them. Pete Sampras, probably Andrea Agassi was quite different, but as well Serena, I think the secret of her success for a long time was always based on her serve and the big forehand. Let's see if another American player, if it was not the case, the Serena was the American supposed to win this tournament. Who knows if the underdog, in this case, Brady, will be able to do that. I don't know. What are your feelings? It's going to be played in 2 days' time. Let's remember 8:30 UK time, 9:30 Central European time on Saturday. So in 48 hours.
Well, yeah, I to be honest, I don't know much about Brady. I mean, it's a good win for her for the semi-final. I'm going to go with Osaka in 2.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
I mean, you need to stick to your predictions. You said from the beginning, Maggie, that Osaka is your favorite player. So of course, I totally respect. I totally understand. I would say probably the same. I hope that at least for the a good quality final, the final we go through 3 sets. I remember a couple of years ago, probably one of the best finals for the women was the one Caroline Wozniacki versus Simona Halep. I think he finished in 3 sets, and there were a lot of ups and downs, twists. One player was leading after the other one was coming back. So I expect and I hope to see a final like that. Of course, in this case, we have one player like Naomi, who's very, very powerful, very fit, very focused. Probably, like she said, the match against Muguruza gave me a lot of confidence. I was almost out of the tournament. Let's remember, she was 5-3 down in the third set in the decider, 40-15 for Muguruza. So she saved 2 consecutive match points. But who knows? Like they usually say, tennis is the sport of the devil. And let's see. Just before we switch to the first men's semi-final that was played today, I discovered, Maggie, just watching a special on Eurosport about something that has been introduced here in Australia. I was very surprised. I was very pleased, and I think it's an incredible story. As you know, they are not using line judges in this tournament due to the COVID situation. So everything is all technological. There are basically voices that they are calling when the ball is out. But what I didn't know is the fact that basically they are using in the tournament the voice of local heroes to call basically the ball out.
Really?
Yeah, it's the first time ever. I think it's incredible to see, you know, the technology paying tribute to frontline workers and local heroes. As well, they interview a paramedic who basically gave his voice, and he got COVID during his service. He lost 9 kilos due to the COVID, and yes, and was very funny because as well they were saying at the beginning it felt strange because people said, "Oh, it doesn't sound like the usual mechanic voice," and he felt, you know, much more human. It was something very special and giving, you know, a sense of more humanity even for the players when they are playing. So I don't know.
I like that.
What do you think? Do you think it can be probably something to be carried on as well in the next coming Grand Slams?
Why not? Yeah, why not? I think that's a nice thing to do. I think it's getting everybody involved, maybe at least, especially people who can't, you know, go to the stadiums to watch the tennis. They can feel like they're playing their bit. I think that's a great idea.
For sure, and definitely, yeah. Even if we miss a little bit of the challenge system, the challenge was giving that kind of thrilling moments when, you know, a player was calling. Sometimes it could be even tactical, and sometimes we saw that balls that they were called out were incredibly thin, and there were a lot of turning points and twists during a match, but I believe that considering the situation, it's safer for everyone. There is the technology. Why not using that? But at the same time, it's incredible, and it's fantastic to see, you know, involvement in particular of people who are every single day risking their life, and they are trying, you know, to support us during this difficult time.
Yeah.
But now let's switch to the men's semi-final that it was played today. It was between the number one in the world, Novak Djokovic, who was playing his ninth semi-final here in Australia, and against probably the biggest surprise of the tournament so far, Karatsev, the Russian player who started from the qualifications, who was number 114 in the world. But I believe after the tournament, he will be number 42 in the ranking.
Yeah, that's good.
Incredible, a massive, you know, jump. And I believe, do you know the score, Maggie, of this match or not?
I can't remember.
Not the exact.
I think it was 3 sets.
Maggie, you were almost right. You just needed a little help in the second women's semi-final, but it's fantastic. You are absolutely right, because basically it was it was a 6-3, 6-4, 6-2. I have to say that already from the beginning, apart from the first 6 games of the match, when Karatsev was really hanging in there, it was showing a lot of power. He was hitting very strong, even from the baseline. He was hitting very flat and very deep. After that point, probably we saw why Novak Djokovic is the world number 1. Has been so successful on the Rod Laver Arena, and he showed all of his talent, all of his strength. I believe at one point from 3-all in the first set, Djokovic won 8 games out of 9. Until the 5-1 in the second set. In the first set, he just needed one break, and after he managed, with the style to secure the opener. In the second, he immediately broke Karatsev, and like I said earlier, he went 5-1 up. For sure, the crowd was a little bit divided. There were a lot of Serbian fans and supporters cheering for Djokovic, but at the same time, probably, as you know, the other side of the crowd was for the underdog. They probably wanted a longer match. They miss so much tennis for 5 consecutive days that it's totally understandable, the fact that they wanted the match to carry on even longer. And at that point, I have to say, Djokovic was probably a little bit dropping his level. It was kind of getting a little bit nervous. I have to say that if at the beginning, for almost basically 2 sets, Djokovic was not missing anything, was very, very good. And I think Karatsev was trying to force too much. He was trying, to go for winners, and he had to slow down a little bit. It took him probably 1 hour and something to understand what was the, how to adjust his game plan. And in that case, it was paying back, because he managed to get 1 break. And on 5-4, Djokovic serving for closing the set. He had 2 break points, one of them with an incredible forehand return that just landed on the line. But at that point, Novak Djokovic proved to everyone that he can count on an additional weapon. Like I was mentioning, in the previous days, Djokovic improved so much his serve, and he saved one of those break points with an ace. And after, with the style, he managed to secure even the second set with a score of 6-4. Like as well, I have to say, today, Djokovic was very, very good with his balance. As we know, the only time where Djokovic is missing shots is only when he's off balance. Today, from both sides, he was very, very solid. And in fact, even during his on-court interview that he gave to Jim Courier, he said that he felt great. He didn't feel any pain at all. And we could see, because he just, in 1 hour and 53 minutes, he won the match. So at the moment, he hasn't lost any semi-final at the Rod Laver Arena. Let's see. He has the same score for the finals. He played so far 8 finals, and he won all of them. And let's see if he's going to be able to repeat himself even on Sunday. Let's say that the finish line is very close for him. Like he was mentioning, he's very pleased now that he will have for sure 2 full days in front of him for recovering. He said, I will decide with my team if it's the case of training only during one of these 2 days between now and the final. It's going to be for him, I believe, the 28th Grand Slam final that he's going to play. So as well, incredible, impressive. Yeah, so far, considering I think so far he played the 27th without considering this one that he's going to play finals, and he won 17th of them. So 17 wins in a Grand Slam finals and 10 defeats. When they ask him, have you watched any other tennis, your potential opponents? He said, yes, definitely. I watched Rafa's match last night against Stefano Tsitsipas. It was incredible. I think so far, probably the best match of the tournament. Rafa was playing amazing in the first probably 2.5, 3 sets, but after Stefanos came back very, very strong. It was very, very solid. So at the same time, he spent nice words for Medvedev. He said he's the right guy now, probably the fittest one in on tour for the last 3 or 4 months. As we know, he's on 20 consecutive wins, also 20 consecutive wins against a lot of very good players, because he beat Djokovic at the round robin at the ATP finals. I think 3 times more or less Alexander Zverev. He beat Rafael Nadal, Berrettini. So the majority of these wins were all with the top 10 players. So for sure, a lot of confidence. And he said, I'm pretty sure I'm going to witness, a semi-final with very high intensity. He said, I will take the popcorn. I will enjoy the show. And when Jim Courier asked him, do you have any preference? He said, I have no preference. At that point, I think he was lying a little bit, because I'm pretty sure he would prefer to play against Stefano Tsitsipas.
Definitely.
Probably against Tsitsipas, the final would be a little bit more spectacular because they have 2 different styles. But I really struggle to believe that Stefano Tsitsipas, after winning against Rafa in 4 hours and 5 minutes, beating tomorrow eventually Medvedev, and I believe I can't see a quick match, but at least a best of 4 sets. And after the ultimate challenge to beat Novak Djokovic on the Rod Laver Arena, I think is almost a mission impossible. Instead, Daniil Medvedev, I believe he has the weapons, even if probably in terms of elegance, in terms of for the beauty of the game, it's not going to be the most spectacular final, but I think it can be a very close final, Djokovic versus Medvedev. I don't know what you believe. What do you think, Maggie?
I agree. I think just like Osaka, I think Medvedev, he's on this winning streak. He since last year, he got the final in his sights. I think he'll be too much for Tsitsipas. And I think hopefully on Sunday, he might be too much for Djokovic as well. I don't know. I'm calling it. I'm going to say Medvedev in 4.
Okay. Medvedev. Well, I believe, look, again, Medvedev is another very, very strange player because he's very crazy sometimes on court. If he starts losing his temper like it happened in the, I would say, last 16 against Krajinovic, it was 2 sets up, and after he started losing, and he went on a 5th set, and he was upset with his coach. He asked him to leave the court.
And that might happen again.
Also, the relationship between the 2 players, they respect, but let's say they don't particularly like each other. A couple of months ago, Tsitsipas said, Medvedev game is very boring. After his win against Rafa, he kind of reformulated. He said, no, actually, I changed my mind. I'm not saying that he's boring in that sense, but it's very difficult because he's always doing the right thing at the right time. So there is kind of some ego going on between them, probably more kind of teasing from Tsitsipas, that I think he considers himself a more elegant player, more pleasant. But I have to say the Medvedev's style is very effective. Like you pointed out, Maggie, definitely reminds me Novak Djokovic in terms of style, but with the difference that, he's much taller and probably, is not as elastic as Novak, but he can really cover both sides of the court. Even being so tall, is incredible how fast he can be. He has an incredible serve, and I think he's one of those players who doesn't feel the pressure. Actually, he loves being in that kind of zone, in that kind of situation. And he's very determined. Like even he said, I'm not going to celebrate my birthday. I want a big present, a special moment. And I think since he entered the tournament, he was focused on the final goal, to reach the final and to lift the trophy. Looking at the head-to-head, I believe that Medvedev is leading 5-1. I hope it's going to be give him more luck, because Rafa was leading 6-1 against Tsitsipas, and after he lost that match. But let's see. Again, I believe, like you, there is going to be a close match. But if Medvedev can manage, to have a fast start and to secure, the opener and to start solid in the second, again. Tsitsipas, he said he felt like in his nirvana against Rafa. He was eating, he was not thinking, but I believe will feel the pressure. And also against Rafa, he could afford that kind of marathon because he had a walkover in the last 16. Matteo Berrettini pull out, so he was very, very rested, and he had probably a lot of fuel in his tank. Just, before leaving everyone, I just want to point out, Maggie, that I'm not the only superstitious person watching tennis as well. As you know, he's working now on Eurosport, Misha Zverev, the older brother of Alexander Zverev. And today, when they pointed out, finally we saw you shaving, he said, Alexander, my brother, is very, very superstitious, so he asked me not to shave, at least until he was in the tournament. So since he lost against Novak Djokovic, finally his older brother could basically look after himself and shave. Yes. So, in perfect Ottanta Passione style, Maggie, as you know, before leaving everyone, I would like to wish happy birthday to two special friends who probably, I don't know how much they love tennis. So one of them is Richard, aka Rich, for all the friends, and another one is Joanne. I hope both of them had a beautiful day, even at home. And I don't know as well, Maggie, if you want to wish them a happy birthday. I know you're a very sociable person, so they are I think Richard is Welsh and Joanna English, so they speak your mother language.
Happy birthday to both of you, Rich and Joanne.
Fantastic. That's great. So see you tomorrow at the same time, at the same place, at 4:30 p.m. UK time, 5:30 Central European time, to talk about the second men's semi-final, Daniil Medvedev versus Stefano Tsitsipas. Stay tuned. Mag, do you want to say goodbye to all our followers or whoever is watching even later on this episode?
Have a nice evening. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow.
That's great. And so don't forget, subscribe to this channel, leave your comments, your predictions. We are almost there on the finish line. We know on one side what is going to be the women's final, Naomi Osaka versus Jennifer Brady. And for the men, we have already Novak Djokovic in the final, waiting for his opponent. We just need to wait less than 24 hours to discover who is going to play on Sunday that final against Novak Djokovic. Stay tuned, and like I usually say, tennis never sleeps on 80 Passione.